The World Economic Forum, or WEF, wants to encircle the world with chains, controlling every nation, administration, and individual. What you watch, read, and consume, as well as how you pay for it. They can only carry out their grand scheme by resetting the planet back. Are you prepared to combat their great reset? Then let's all battle the machine together since Cryptique is now in session. Welcome to Cryptique, a channel that gives critical evaluation or analysis, especially in dealing with crypto. Everything regarding money, finance, investing, cryptocurrency, and blockchain-related topics, including ICOs, NFTs, and yield farming. Please subscribe and share this video. Also, do hit that like button. To first start this video, what is the World Economic Forum, or also known as WEF? First called as the European Management Forum, which intended to introduce American management concepts to European businesses, was established by Klaus Schwab in 1971. They would organize a meeting every year in Davos, Switzerland, to talk about how European businesses could catch up to their American rivals. Then, in 1973, the Bretton Woods system collapsed, ending the practice of backing flat currencies with gold, and the globe underwent a sea upheaval. At this point, the European Management Forum underwent a transformation and became the forerunner of the World Economic Forum. From management systems, they shifted their attention to economic and social problems. In January 1974, political leaders were first invited to Davos. The World Economic Forum officially changed its name from the European Management Forum in 1987, and it was at this point that it began to spread over the globe. The Globe Leaders for Tomorrow initiative was first introduced by the WEF in 1992. Members of this program were developed and equipped to follow the WEF's guiding principles as world leaders. Tony Blair took part in the first one, and 4 years later, he started his 10-year reign over the UK. The first was also attended by Gordon Brown, who later served with Tony Blair before immediately succeeding him as Prime Minister. Many of the original group's members were destined to eventually assume the office of head of state in their own nations, thus it was stuffed to the gills with other future leaders. Angela Merkel, a former German Chancellor, Viktor Orban, a former Hungarian Prime Minister, Nicolas Sarkozy, a former French President, Lee Hsien Loong, a former Singapore Prime Minister, Cyril Ramaphosa, a former South African President, and Jose Maria Aznar, a former Spanish Prime Minister, were among the well-known leaders present. A very comparable program, Henry Kissinger's International Seminar, based out of Harvard University and lavishly subsidized by the American Central Intelligence Agency or CIA, enabled Klaus Schwab, the project's driving force and the WEF's lifetime leader, to gain his own influence. Evidently, the WEF wanted its own individuals in positions of authority, as seen by the existence of the Young Global Leaders Program, which continues to this day. People believe they have a choice in who runs nations. In actuality, however, the WEF dominates world politics. What then is the WEF's current purpose? The WEF, however, isn't reluctant to share its plans with us. As we can see, the Great Reset is a goal of the WEF. According to the landing page, there is an immediate need for global stakeholders to work together to manage the immediate effects of the Rona catastrophe. The Great Reset effort is being launched by the Global Economic Forum to improve the state of the world. What is the aim of this reset? They explain further below, stating that this initiative will give some insight to better guide all those determining the forthcoming state of global relations, the direction of national economies, the priorities of societies, the nature of business models, and the governance of a global commons. They want to rule the world, and they even released an infographic illustrating how the Great Reset will reshape the world, including the future of food, banking, and capital markets, digital identity, and other industries. They desire a Great Reset in a complete overhaul. Crazy enough, the WEF actually acknowledged that the Rona fiasco was only a trial run for some of its efforts. Just 2 weeks ago, the WEF published an article titled My Carbon, an approach for inclusive and sustainable cities. According to the article, COVID-19 was a test of social responsibility since billions of people over the world adopted an enormous number of unfathomable limits for public health. Numerous instances of preserving social distance, donning masks, administering mass vaccinations, and approving contact tracing software for public health showed the fundamentals of individual social responsibility. They acknowledged that the worldwide Rona panic was only a test. They had leaders in charge who guided their nations through this assessment of their social responsibilities on a global scale. They aim to have complete control over what, how, and why citizens behave. They desire to manipulate people's free will. Additionally, WEF member and advisor Yuval Harari has revealed this. He spoke on people's free will in an interview he gave back in July. According to him, free will is no longer an issue because technology has made it possible to influence citizens' daily decisions, including everything from voting to what they buy at the grocery store. This is insane, and it only grows gloomier and creepier. So, if you think this video has clarified some things for you, please consider liking it and clicking that bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you might want to consider subscribing to our channel. It'll really help us out. Back to our video. As we already know, the WEF has been in charge of the UK ever since the Global Leaders of Tomorrow program was established. Liz Truss, the newly appointed Prime Minister of the UK, is a WEF puppet. Since Liz came into power, the UK economy has been in the tank, and the British pound has been falling off a cliff. She is listed on the WEF website and has participated in virtual summits with the WEF on international trade back in 2021. She even tweeted about this virtual summit saying, "It's time Britain had regulations suited for the 21st century." Bond prices fell, driving up borrowing costs, causing havoc on the housing market, and bringing pension funds dangerously close to bankruptcy. What was PM Liz Truss's response to the economic unrest? 3 days ago, the Financial Times published an article titled, "Truss warns British economy needs a reset after market sell-off," in which she is directly quoted, "We believe in facilitating the completion of tasks for our wealth creators, manufacturers, and doers," she stated. The British economy requires a reset. The existing managed decline trajectory cannot be maintained. We must instead go a different route. Truss, a puppet of the WEF, is strictly adhering to the big reset agenda and will be the one to take us down that route to a brighter future. She claimed that the British economy needed to be reset, and that process is currently underway. So what is this Great Reset's ultimate goal? The WEF isn't subtle about it, though. They tweeted, "Welcome to 2030. I get nothing. I have no privacy, and I've never been more happy," which is precisely what their strategy is. They want to undermine individual property rights and privacy. How do you suppose they intend to do that? The WEF isn't discreet about this, though. Recently, they have been advocating for the introduction of CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, which would give governments more control over the flow of money and the status of its population. Why do you suspect Jerome Powell, the US FED chairman, who just discussed the US CBDC, revealed that it wouldn't be completely private. Digital identities will be connected to the CBDC, making them completely under the control of the ruling class rather than private. Why do you believe Mr. Gates, another globalist WEF puppet, has just recently committed $200 million to the creation of a digital ID? According to the article, the latest funding obligation encompasses $200 million for digital public infrastructure, which includes digital ID and civil registry databases. The populace must become aware of their evil intentions and begin to resist them. It's time for the Great Awakening. Screw the Great Reset. And with that, this concludes our video. Acquired a lot of knowledge from this, we recommend checking out our other relevant videos from our channel. Also, consider sharing this video to any friends or family members who might find it useful. Until next time!